Drodzy winopijcy, pierwszy taki odcinek na Ale Wino, winnica w samym mieście.
Jesteśmy w Wiedniu, widzicie go tutaj za nami. Wokół są winnice, oglądajcie koniecznie.
Wino w mieście 2. Słuchajcie, nie wierzyliśmy, że to jest możliwe, że można mieć winnicę w mieście. No ale jesteśmy.
Jesteśmy na wzgórzu, które się nazywa Nussberg w Wiedniu, czyli wzgórze Orzecha Laskowego. I teraz przejdziemy się z Wami po winnicy razem z naszym przyjacielem Friesem Wenningerem, który właśnie do nas idzie.
Więc oglądajcie cały odcinek.
We already started without you.
No problem.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, I'm
Nice to meet you.
Fritz.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Fritz, how is that possible that there are vineyards in the city?
Well, there always have been vineyards here, and they got less and less up to a certain point where the city, the government said, we want to protect what is left, and nobody is allowed to build a house, so it's safe for the future.
So the city was growing, but you kept this part.
Yes.
And actually, what are you doing here? What are the grapes and what are the wines?
Yeah, mainly we do white wines, and the number one wine is like in this vineyard a gemischter Satz.
What is
Can
that?
you yeah.
What is it?
Gemischter Satz is different grape varieties, as you can see it here, in one vineyard together, growing together the whole year, and then at the harvested everything together at the same time.
So it's a mix of how many different varieties?
In this vineyard it's 12. By the law there's a minimum of 3, but it could be even more than 12. I think
20?
yeah, 20, 25 could be. Yeah, but most of the time it's between like 5 and 15, something.
And do you recognize every brand?
This is Neuburger. Neuburger is an old Austrian variety that is more rich and full-bodied. This is Zierfandler, also old Austrian, but more sour. So the both together, that gives a very good result.
Yeah.
The one gives the acidity and freshness, the other the sugar.
Harmony.
That's harmony, right. Also Neuburger. Now this is either, it's not Riesling, this is the Silvaner, I think. This could be a Riesling. This is a Welsh Riesling. You see characteristically this dark point on the other side of the stem.
For gemischter Satz, you harvest everything together?
Yes, this
Exactly.
for example, this vineyard, everything is harvested at the same day, is processed together, one press, one tank or barrel, it's fermented, everything together from the first day on.
And what would you say to someone who's never had gemischter Satz? What kind of wine is it? What's the taste? What should you find in the nose?
That is a difficult question because it varies from mix to mix, from vineyard to vineyard. Here it's a majority of Pinot Blanc. In other vineyards it might be a majority of Grüner Veltliner. In vineyards of my neighbor, for example, is always a lot of Riesling in the forefront. And that is then giving a more taste of the one and less of the other. But
So there's always a specific character of the actual winemaker because it's his vineyard.
it's
It's going to vary between the...
Yes. It's the winemaker and it's the terroir. The most important thing with gemischter Satz is that it is a harmony. An old friend said to me once, you have to realize one variety is like one instrument and the gemischter Satz is like the whole orchestra.
That's a good point, especially in Vienna. Huh?
Yes.
And tell me, how many hectares in general is there? How many hectares of vineyards in
Vienna
the
has
city?
about 650 to 700 hectares, and as I said, very strictly protected. Even today, you have to, when you buy a vineyard, you have to continue to work with it. Otherwise, you get fined.
Okay.
The city will fine you
So
if
you
you
can't
don't
stop
take care.
making wine,
You
yeah.
cannot stop making the vineyard and wine.
That's great for protecting. This is an amazing heritage, you know.
Absolutely.
It doesn't really happen. I don't know of any other city that has this, you know.
Well,
Well,
not in this size.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can find some vineyards in other cities, but not this size.
Absolutely.
The size is amazing.
Just go to Bratislava. There is some
Exactly, yeah.
vineyards. There is in Rome is some
really?
wine.
Yeah, in Paris,
at Montmartre is a
Yeah,
vineyard.
yeah,
True,
But almost
this is
700 hectares. This is quite a size.
Amazing.
This
Yeah.
is not the smallest wine growing region in Austria. It's the 4th smallest.
Okay.
We are proud of that.
And tell me, the people from Vienna are coming here
Yes.
to relax or eat or drink.
The Viennese people, first of all, love wine, and second of all, they love these recreation areas. They come out with the buses or the public transport, and then they walk and hike around a little bit. Then they sit down at these little Buschenschank places, have a glass of wine, maybe a little snack, a bread with some cheese, and another glass of wine, and then they continue.
Because
their walk.
Buschenschank is... What is Buschenschank?
Buschenschank is the official restaurant or osteria of the winemaking families. And Buschenschank in Vienna, especially, we call those that are in the middle of the vineyards.
Okay.
Not very many, but
So it's a place you can stop, have a bite,
yes.
have a glass of wine, and keep going.
Usually exactly that wine that is grown around the place.
So you can try the local wines.
Super
which is
local.
great, yeah.
I have last question before we go for the
Yeah, let's
tasting.
go drinking.
Yes.
Exactly.
You don't lose money because of all these people, these Viennese people who are coming here.
Eating
They
your
are
grapes.
not eating your grapes.
A little bit. But
Like
the,
us, we ate a little bit.
We ate
already.
3. Okay, just 3.
I had a little bit
the
more.
wasps eat more. No, it's not the big problem. The people prefer to drink the result.
Okay, that's nice.
Great, yeah.
Let's drink the result.
Let's have some as
Let's
well.
have the
go.
result. This is from one of my colleagues, Rainer Christ. He is from the other side of the Danube, in the far north of the city. The soil is different. It's more loose, very light, sandy soil. Not like here. I would like to start with this because it's the cooler style
Okay.
of gemischter Satz.
These are a Magnum, yeah? Magnum bottle.
This is a Magnum bottle. And it's not young, it's
Very heavy.
the vintage is, I don't know, you have to look on the back label what vintage it is. It's 16 probably, no 17.
17.
Okay.
Yeah, we could use this as instead of like...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you know what is inside? Or
A lot of Pinot Blanc,
okay.
but the other variety, for sure also Grüner Veltliner. Probably some varieties we don't know anymore because this vineyard is really very old. And when I taste it, I detect a little bit of sweetness.
Yes.
So sometimes there is also a few grams of sugar to it. This is a style of the winemaker. It shows us the wine is rich, the wine is very
Opulent,
mature,
yeah.
opulent, yes.
Next.
What's next?
I would say the Rotes Haus.
Okay.
Rotes Haus is exactly the place where we are standing now. It's not a gemischter Satz as we know it, that is completely mixed. Here's a block of Welsh Riesling, here's a block of Grüner Veltliner, and over there is a block of Traminer.
Okay.
And this is the gemischter Satz.
This is a different philosophy a little bit.
Yeah,
Wow, you can
and this is more aged. I would
But you-
think this is 2012.
You can see it, you can smell it.
Yeah.
It's the
It's-
aromas
Are aged aromas. It's more like the stone,
Yes.
the rock. What I can detect, there must be Riesling. There must be Riesling. It's there's a little bit of Riesling flavors as well to it. Also an opulent style of wine.
Yeah. A little bit oily.
This is completely different
Yeah.
terroir. Here we are on limestone combined with the original rock of the Alps. Until 2 million years ago, the Nussberg where we are at now was completely flooded by an ocean. So it was under the sea, and there was marine sediments onto the rock.
Yeah.
And with avalanches, these marine sediments were washed down, and on the higher places is less chalk, these marine sediments. On the lower elevations is more. So this is more the rocky style.
Yeah.
You need some air. You need a bigger glass, and this is more a wine for a meat dish.
Yeah,
Not
that's
like
good.
the first. That
Exactly.
was more
Yeah.
like a fish
Fish or
wine.
aperitivo
Yes,
even when it's
aperitivo.
really cool.
A lighter
Yeah,
style.
Exactly.
The wine is not light though,
Yeah.
but it's more dancing.
Yeah.
And this is more a character.
Okay. And the last one.
Our favorite.
Thank you.
I know it very well.
The last one is the vintage 16
Okay.
gemischter Satz from the vineyard Ulm. It is my gemischter Satz from a vineyard that is absolutely the first one next to the Danube River. You can see the Danube River here. Imagine where it flows aside the Nussberg. Exactly there is this vineyard. So lower down, very high in chalk content. These marine sediments are extreme over there, and this makes up this wine very much. It's a gemischter Satz from 9 different grape varieties. The majority is Pinot Blanc, Neuburger, Welsch Riesling and Grüner Veltliner. But there's also some Silvaner, Zierfandler, Rotgipfler, Traminer, of course, and Riesling.
Oh, this is
Amazing.
beautiful.
I love it. And there is some body, and this is crunchy.
It's body and still lively.
But yeah, this is the, like you call it, the bone dry, you know, it's like...
Yeah. Well,
Oh, wow.
my wines are always bone dry
Great.
because I like this much better. This is better with food. This is a food wine, definitely.
Totally.
Well, I
Totally.
also would drink it without
Alone.
food.
So what, if the previous one was meat, the other one was aperitivo, what about this? Meat as well, or?
More meat, yes, but maybe not this
Not
heavy
heavy,
styles. Asian, I could see
Yes.
here.
Just a little bit spicy, not too much
Spiciness
spicy,
would
but
We
go
hear
with
a lot
this as
about
well.
that. Actually, that Austrian wines and Asian food is like a really good combination. So.
I think so too. And also the Nordic cuisine would fit here well because it has some spiciness due to Grüner Veltliner and these components. And it's very fresh, it's almost acidic, and this goes very well with the Nordic cuisine.
It's beautiful.
So
Okay.
there's a wide range.
So 3 beautiful, very different wines.
very different wines.
Yeah, very different wines. So that's a great answer to the question. There's really no one single way of understanding or kind of taste of a gemischter Satz, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be slightly different,
There's always a little bit of a mystic surprise to gemischter Satz.
which is great.
Or you know the producer with his wine, then it never will be a surprise because a gemischter Satz from one and the same vineyard over the years is pretty much the same.
Drodzy nasi winopisy, dziękujemy, że z nami byliście. Over and out, koniec odcinka z Wiednia i z przepięknych winnic w samym centrum miasta.
Jeżeli chcecie nas dalej oglądać, Fritz przed chwilą nam powiedział, że uwielbia Chardonnay, więc zapraszamy Was do naszego odcinka o Chardonnay właśnie. A poza tym komentujcie,
Lajkujcie,
subskrybujcie i
pamiętajcie, pijcie odpowiedzialnie.
do zobaczenia.